She dropped her tote on the kitchen island, scrolled her phone, and said it like a weather report. We should be taking trips more often. You just got home Sunday, I replied, rinsing out my coffee mug. Nashville with the girls, 3 nights. My wallet still has the footprint. That was different, she waved it off. That was friends. I mean us. A real trip. Ocean, resort, something decent. I don't have money for a new trip, I told her. Mortgage just hit. Truck needed brakes. We aren't doing that right now. She blinked, unimpressed. That's not a reason. It's exactly a reason. Her mouth pulled sideways. You always make it about bills. It's depressing. If I'd known where that sentence was headed, I'd have moved faster and bled less. She opened the fridge and stood there, letting cold air do the heavy lifting. I watched the little magnets tremble from the door slamming. Her name is Melissa. We've been married 5 years. I handle the unsexy stuff. Oil changes, taxes, gutters, broken washing machine belts. She does aesthetics. Throw pillows. Photos. Weekend plans that always seem to cost another chunk I hadn't budgeted. We used to balance each other. Lately, not so much. You know what Kayla says? She continued, grabbing sparkling water. Couples who travel together stay in love. It's about keeping it exciting. Kayla sells eyelashes out of her trunk and thinks every meal needs fireworks, I said. I prefer the diner where the owner knows our names. She gave me a thin smile, pity disguised as charm. You're allergic to nice things. I'm allergic to dumb spending. Wow, she murmured, checking her phone again. You hear yourself? Loud and clear. She drifted out of the kitchen, leaving me with the hum of the fridge and a simple inventory. I was footing the house. She was blowing air into a balloon called more. I could either chase it across the yard or tie it off. That night, I printed our budget. Not to win an argument. To draw lines I should have drawn months ago. Can we not do spreadsheets after dinner? Melissa sat on the couch, remote in hand. It's a vibe killer. 2 minutes, I said, placing the pages on the coffee table. Here's the new setup. House account pays mortgage, utilities, groceries. We each have our own discretionary account. If you want trips, gifts, whatever, use yours. I'm not funding status. She let out a short laugh. Status? So wanting a nice weekend means I'm chasing status? If the point is the photo and the receipt, yes. That's insulting. I'm drawing a simple boundary. So you're cutting me off, she shot back. That what this is? I'm cutting off the game. I'm done performing for your friends group chat. She tried to smirk. It didn't land. Kayla's right. You're stuck. Kayla can Venmo you for the ocean, I said. I'm working Saturday. We'll do a day drive next month. Cheap and easy. Cheap and easy, she repeated, like she'd cracked a code. She grabbed her phone again. Her thumbs moved fast. I took my folder and stood. Also, Thursday date nights are now Saturday lunch. I'm not burning a work night to sit inside an overpriced place whose main export is lighting. What is happening to you? She asked, finally looking up. Who talks like that? Someone who's done competing for his own attention. Great, she said, turning the volume up a notch. Make sure to tell everyone how noble you are. I didn't answer. I went to the office, set up 2 new checking accounts, and rerouted the autopays. Low drama, high effect. My initiative wasn't a speech, it was a form. A minute later, my phone buzzed. Melissa had posted a story, a selfie with a caption, "Raise your standards." If he wanted to, he would. 2 hearts from Kayla already blinked under it. I walked back out, set my phone on the island, and kept my voice level. One more thing. Don't hang our private stuff on your stories. Next one like that. I'll assume you want distance, and I'll give it. She didn't answer. Just another sip of sparkling water, eyes on the TV. I let the silence carry the consequence. 2 days later, neighbor Rick hosted a backyard cookout. Folding chairs, paper plates, football on a small TV near the garage. Rick's wife Linda is friendly in that careful way between married people who've seen things. Melissa wore a sundress that said casual, but had a price tag I knew too well. Kayla showed up in a jumpsuit you could see from traffic, trailing her boyfriend Drew, who spoke like a man interviewing himself. Melissa, Linda greeted, hugging her. Glad you made it. We almost didn't, Melissa announced. Mr. Budget here is rationing fun. She tilted her head toward me like she was presenting a pet. He says trips are off. Trips are not off, I corrected. Trips are on pause until we can pay for them without pretending. Kayla snorted. Pretending? Honey, You gotta show up for your woman. A little surprise, some five-star energy. Life's short. Good advice, I said, flipping a burger. You sponsoring it? Drew laughed louder than necessary. This dude's got jokes. Melissa set her cup down. He's proud of doing the bare minimum and calling it integrity. Bare minimum, I repeated, turning the burger. That's how we're naming lights and heat now. Kayla touched Melissa's arm. You don't have to settle. My cousin's man flies her out just for brunch. Rick, stuck between host and witness, gave me a shrug. Weather's holding. He offered, pointing at the sky like it could pull us all out of this. I looked at Melissa. You and I can joke at home. Out here, don't position me as your employee. Oh my God. Melissa rolled her eyes. Relax. It's just banter. It's public grading, I countered. New rule. Don't volunteer my wallet or my time in front of people. If you want something, you bring it to me, privately, like a partner. Kayla reached for a chip. New rule. She mocked lightly to Drew. Hear that? I set down the tongs and straightened. Kayla, I'm talking to my wife. I don't need your commentary. Melissa, we're staying an hour. After that, I'm heading to the shop for inventory. You're welcome to come, you're welcome not to. But I'm not hanging around to be a prop. Drew gave a low whistle. Spicy. Linda stepped closer to the grill. I'm going to slice the watermelon, she said to no one in particular, voice gentle as a door closing. An hour later, I rinsed the grill tools and told Rick thanks. Melissa barely glanced up from her phone. Go count your bolts, she muttered. Will do, I said. Need a ride? She didn't answer. Kayla was laughing at something on her screen. I left. I don't announce my exits anymore. I let absence do the teaching. At the shop, I tallied filters and hoses while my tech Manny cracked a soda and gave me the look mechanics give men with home trouble. You good, boss? He asked. More or less, I said. Just tuning the system. Next morning, Melissa slid into the kitchen behind me, quieter than usual. No perfume, no entrance. Just her, hands wrapped around a mug she didn't drink from. I was harsh yesterday, she said, eyes on the countertop. I'm sorry. I don't like it when we're cold. That makes two of us. I'll cook Sunday, she added. Your favorite. We can plan something simple. Maybe the lake. I'll pack sandwiches. No need to prove anything to anyone. That works, I said. Also, keep your phone in your pocket. Let's remember what it's like to be two people on a bench without an audience. She nodded. Okay. It was the first soft turn. It looked like care. It sounded like partnership. I didn't clap. I said thanks and went to work. Midweek, I had a vendor appreciation thing. Free pizza, a couple folding tables, a banner printed from someone's nephew's design. Melissa asked if she could swing by. I told her sure. Kayla showed up too. Of course, with Drew. I don't know how she keeps finding the address. I assume she has a radar that blips at the smell of attention. Jenna, my project manager, ran the sign-in sheet. She's 30, sharp, carries herself like a to-do list. Your wife's here, she murmured, as if reporting a storm front. Melissa breezed in with Kayla like they were presenting a trophy. She kissed my cheek without fully landing it and announced, we should take everyone out after this. There's this new place uptown with a tasting menu. Drew can call the manager. Kayla lit up. Yes. Celebrate your little business thing. We'll make a night of it. It's not a little business thing, Jenna said, not bothering to sweeten it. It's 15 installs ahead of schedule. Congrats, Melissa replied, eyes already back on me. So, dinner. This is a work event, I said. It's about my crew. We plan pizza. Then I'm going to Manny's to check the lift. No after party. You never want to do anything nice, she said, turning it so the room could hear. False, I answered. I want to do plenty that's nice. Just not your version of a parade where I hire the band. Drew grinned. We get it, you're practical. Cool. But she deserves. I cut him off with a raised hand. You're not her lawyer. Melissa, stop trying to sell me plans in public. If you need to upgrade something, bring your wallet or bring a better reason than the girls said so. A couple of my guys looked down, pretending to care about paper plates. Jenna leaned one hip against the table, eyes on Melissa like she was deciding where to put a warning label. Kayla chirped, you sound controlling. No, I said. I sound like the man paying for the roof you stand under. Big difference. The room held its breath. I didn't like doing it there, but she brought it there. That's the thing about lines. You either draw them when it's inconvenient, or you don't draw them at all. Melissa stared at me a second, then shifted tone like changing radio stations. You know what? You're right. This is your day. We'll bow out. She squeezed my arm. Proud of you. Kayla's eyebrows nearly climbed off her face. Drew looked confused at being left out of a conflict. I nodded. Thank you. They left 10 minutes later, Melissa blowing me a kiss like we were in a commercial. Jenna passed me a stack of invoices. That was something. I'm streamlining, I said. She half smiled. If you need a safe house, I got a couch. Appreciate it, I told her. But I'm good. On my way to Manny's, a text came through from Melissa. Let's have a quiet night, just us. I'll pick up takeout. No phones. Proud of you today. I replied, I'm inventorying late. Tomorrow. Soft turn number 1 had matured into a bouquet. I didn't need it. Saturday morning, she upped the ante. I walked into the kitchen after a run and found pancakes already cooling. She never cooks breakfast. She poured coffee for me without asking how I take it. She knows, of course, but the ritual is unusual. Thought I'd do something, she said. I like us like this. Me too. We could go car shopping later, she added casually. Just see what's out there. You deserve an upgrade. I just did brakes, I replied. That's my upgrade. I'm just saying, I want people to see what you've built. You're not small. She reached across the island and touched my forearm. The gesture was intentional, measured. Not intimacy, PR. I know what I've built, I answered. And I don't measure it in glances. Her mouth tensed, but she held the smile. She'd shifted tactics. I logged it. When pressure doesn't work, try sugar. When sugar doesn't work, say you're proud. When proud doesn't work, try a different crowd. That night, she suggested a double date with Kayla and Drew at an upscale place. They got us a table, she said. Last minute. Special menu. I'm not doing that, I said, lacing my boots. We can do the burger place. If not, I'm grilling at home. She moved closer, lowering her voice. Please. It's one night. We'll look put together. It matters. To who? She didn't answer. She didn't have to. I was supposed to show I could keep up. With who? I still didn't know. We pulled up outside the place anyway because she didn't drop it, and I wanted to respond with a visible boundary. Kayla and Drew were at the entrance, Kayla waving like she'd discovered us. Finally, she sang out. We're starving. Go ahead without us. I told them, hands in my jacket pockets. We're not staying. Kayla blinked. Come again. We're not attending any event whose purpose is to grade me. Melissa hissed under her breath. You're embarrassing me. No, I said. I'm preventing it. Have a good night. Kayla stared at Melissa, offended on principle. Girl. Melissa put a hand up, shutting her friend down for the first time in weeks. We'll talk, she told Kayla, then turned to me. Fine. Let's go. We drove home in a silence that felt like the ocean right before a storm. She set her clutch down, walked past me, and then doubled back. I'm trying, she said. I made breakfast. I backed off the dinner thing. I told Kayla to chill. You notice any of that? Yes, I said. And I appreciate it. Here's what I need. No more public tests. No more goalposts you move after I meet them. If you want partnership, be my partner. If you want a show, I'm not your act. You make everything sound like a contract. It is a contract. It's called marriage. She exhaled through her nose. You're exhausting. Good night. The second soft turn arrived the next day. She stopped by the shop with lunch and a handwritten note. I love that you build things that last. Manny whistled low and said, she's laying it on thick. I shrugged. Let's torque the bolts. I wanted to believe. I did. But I kept my distance. I moved some tools to the truck. I sorted my files. I paid off a small personal card and left it at 0. Logistics, not romance. Then came the breakfast. It was Tuesday. Sun through the blinds. News murmuring on the counter TV, both of us in our grooves. I buttered toast. She scrolled through her messages, nail tapping the glass like a metronome. She didn't look up when she said it. The girls tell me I could do better. She said it like, we're out of bananas. I set the knife down. No clatter. No scene. What do you tell the girls? She shrugged. That I'm patient. That I'm hoping you catch up. Catch up to what? She put her phone face down. Ambition. Lifestyle. Effort. Everything I carry is invisible, you know. Emotional labor. You're describing a parade again, I said. And you want me to rent a bigger float. She didn't argue. She took a bite of toast like the conversation was over. Maybe she thought I'd start pleading, negotiating, promising. That's the game. Throw dust, watch the other person dance. I took my plate to the sink. You free for dinner tonight? I told Kayla we'd meet for drinks, she answered. Why? No reason. She cleaned up her crumbs, grabbed her bag, and pecked my cheek without landing. The way you mark territory you're not sure you want. I went to the shop, sat behind my desk, and made 3 phone calls. Hi, this is Mark Allen. Reservation under Allen for Friday night. Need to cancel. Click. Booking office? The weekend wine tour? Please cancel. Yes, I understand the fee. Click. Jewelry store? This is Mark. I need to return the bracelet I put on hold. The manager recognized my voice. Understood, I told him. Store credit? No, sir. Refund. Then I drove home on my lunch break, pulled the luggage from the closet, and started packing. Not my things. Hers. Dresses she loves. The hair tools that hum like drones. The makeup case with more compartments than my toolbox. I folded her stuff neatly. I'm not petty. I'm thorough. I placed 2 suitcases by the door and 1 by the bedroom mirror. On the kitchen island, I left a note, the keys to the house in an envelope, and my wedding band in a small ceramic dish next to the salt. The note was short. I don't write novels to people who don't read signs. Melissa, you said you could do better. I won't compete with your friends for my place in my own house. I canceled the dinner and the trip. Return the gift. Your bags are by the door. I'll be at the Riverside place for a month. We'll coordinate bills through email. Don't come by unannounced. Mark. Then I moved some essentials, work clothes, boots, a framed picture of my dad, and me pulling an engine block out of an old car, into the truck. I texted Manny to cover a service call. I texted Jenna to update a schedule. I texted my buddy Sam, who owns a little machine shop by the river, to ask if his spare room over the shop was still empty. Keys under the mat, Sam wrote back. You good? Getting there, I sent. At 5:30, Linda texted me, a simple you around, which is neighbor for, I saw suitcases in your entryway. I called her. Everything okay? She asked. Adjusting, I said. Rick and I will keep an eye on the house, she offered. You need anything, knock. Thanks, Linda. At 9, Melissa came home. I didn't hear it, obviously, but I can guess the sequence. Lock clicks, lights on, eyes adjusting, suitcases, note, the small ceramic dish that says more than a shouted argument. My phone lit up while I was putting sheets on Sam's spare bed. What is this? Her text read. I didn't respond. A minute later the call came through. I answered on the 3rd ring. You're being ridiculous, she led with. Classic. I heard you this morning, I said. The girls tell you could do better. Believe them. You canceled dinner? She demanded. You canceled the trip? You returned my gift? Are you serious? Completely. You're punishing me. I'm exiting an arena I didn't sign up for. You can't just. I can. I kept my voice even. We'll split the house account like I said. I'll email the breakdown tomorrow. Don't use friends as a steering wheel if you don't like where the car ends up. You're making a mistake, she said, softer now. I made plenty, I replied. This isn't one of them. You're not even going to talk this out? After everything. We've been talking. You just like other people in the room when you do it. Now you're weaponizing my friends. No, I said. I'm disengaging from their votes. If you need a jury, pick another case. Silence stretched, thin as fishing line. Then she tried a different gear. Come home. We'll figure it out. I'll delete the stories. I'll tell Kayla to mind her business. I don't negotiate with a scoreboard. So that's it, she asked. You're quitting? I'm finishing. She inhaled sharply, but I didn't hear tears. Not her style. You know what? Fine. Run to your cave. Everyone will see what kind of man you are. They already do, I said. That's the problem. I hung up. I don't celebrate finality, but I respect it. The room over Sam's shop smelled like sawdust and old metal, which is as close to honest as a room gets. I slept. Next morning, Jenna poked her head into the shop office. You look rested, she said dryly. New mattress, I answered. What's up? Melissa called me. Jenna said, closing the door behind her. Asked if I could tell you you're being dramatic. I told her my job title is project manager, not marriage interpreter. You're welcome. Thanks, I said. Let's talk ductwork. At lunch, I drove to the house to collect mail and a couple tools I'd forgotten. Melissa's car was in the driveway. I saw the curtain twitch. I rang the doorbell. She opened the door with arms crossed, the suitcases no longer by the door. They were open in the hallway, half unpacked, like a set from a show about indecision. You're overreacting, she said. You're under-respecting, I answered. I was hurt. I said something careless. You're blowing up our life over a throwaway line. No, I said. I'm correcting a pattern. You can consider it sudden if it helps you sleep. Where are you even staying? She demanded. Riverside. That place is a dump. It's clean, I said. And it's quiet. When did you decide this? Across the toast. So one sentence and you're gone, she scoffed. It wasn't one sentence, I told her. It was months of small ones. That was just neat handwriting. She shifted weight, trying to find the angle. Maybe I wanted to see some fight. Some effort. Men compete for what matters. I compete at work, I said. Not for permission to be respected at my own table. Her jaw set. What do you want me to say? Nothing. Words got us here. We stood there like two people on opposite sides of a bridge someone forgot to finish. I picked up a box of drill bits from the bench by the door. Final question, she tried. Are you seeing someone? No. Will you? When I'm ready, I said. And it'll be someone who doesn't need an audience. I hope your little principles keep you warm, she snapped. They already do, I said, stepping backward onto the porch. Take care of yourself. Wait, she called. What am I supposed to tell people? The truth, I said, and let it hang there until she looked away. The next week was clean. I transferred my portion of the house costs. I moved the rest of my clothes. I sent a neutral email about the dog. There is no dog, but that's what people always fight about, so I felt like I'd dodged a cultural bullet. I kept my phone on silent after 9. I didn't check her stories. Kayla texted once, a paragraph of pep talk mixed with insult. I ignored it. Drew called me buddy in a message that read like a lecture on manhood. I deleted it. Linda left a pie on Sam's stoop with a note that said, for food, not symbolism. I laughed out loud for the first time in weeks. By Friday, I'd settled into a rhythm that didn't demand performance. I woke at 5, ran by the river, ate a simple breakfast, worked, came back to a room that didn't judge how I arranged my boots. It was basic. It was decent. 2 weeks later, Melissa asked to meet at the diner to exchange a couple things. I agreed. Neutral ground, bright lights, a server who calls men hon and women sweetie without irony. She showed up looking like she'd tried to dress down, which means she's still dressed up. I'm okay, she said when the server left. I think. I'm fine, I said. You returned the bracelet. Yes. That was cruel. That was clarity. She stared past me, out at the parking lot. I talked to my mom. She thinks we can fix it with counseling. I don't want a referee, I said. I wanted a teammate. I asked for that, and you invited a crowd. She pushed her water around with the straw. What do you need from me? Nothing, I answered. This is the part where we stop trading lines and start trading keys. She nodded slowly, like someone learning a new language by pain. So we're done. We're finished, I said. There's a difference. She dabbed at a spot of nothing on the table. People are going to think I failed. They're going to think what you tell them, I said. You have more control than you pretend. She swallowed, then stood. You always did like the last word. I left a 20 under the salt shaker, looked at her, and gave her the last word I owed. Respect wasn't on the menu, I told her. Neither am I. I walked to the parking lot. She didn't follow. I prefer doors that close once. That was months ago. I moved out of Sam's place into a small house on the edge of town with a crooked mailbox and a yard that needs a push mower, not a landscaping plan. I bought a used SUV with good bones and no payment. The shop landed a municipal contract, and I hired another tech. Jenna negotiated herself a raise around me, and then told me about it like a victory lap. I shook her hand and meant it. On Sundays, I grill with Rick and Linda. We talk about boring things, which is peace-wearing jeans. There's someone new. Claire. She's a nurse, direct in a way that doesn't cut flesh. She doesn't post us. The first time we drove to the lake, she packed sandwiches in a cooler and didn't narrate a single thing. When I told her I like simple, she said, me too, and then actually meant it, which is still surprising to me in a good way. Every once in a while I hear about Melissa through the neighborhood chain. She moved to a smaller apartment closer to the city. Kayla got a new boyfriend who wears hats indoors. I'm told the group photos continue. Someone said Melissa changed her hair, started a new job in events. I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't need to. I kept the ceramic dish. It sits by my sink now, holding 2 spare keys and a washer from an old job. The ring is somewhere else. People ask if I'm bitter. No, bitter is heavy. I'm light. I didn't leave because I hated her. I left because I like myself. I won't compete to be respected. If that's old-fashioned, fine. The men I admire didn't need a panel to approve their backbone. Sometimes I think about that breakfast. The toast, the sun through the blinds, the way she didn't look up when she said it. The girls tell me I could do better. Maybe they could. Maybe she will. I won't be there to see it.